folks, we have just pulled up the last line. If you can hear me, make sure you let me know. I am going to be streaming today's video from a mobile device, so we can be a little bit more mobile today and show you guys a little bit more of the ship. But it also means we're going to be coming in and out as far as today's stream as we deal with some technology changes, which means I think we're doing this whole thing vertically today. We'll figure it out. We have just cast off that last line. You might notice we are pointed towards the fantail. That's the back of the ship. We just pulled down the American flag of the fantail. When we get underway, we shift colors. We shift the American flag to amidships right along the center line, which we're not in a great position to see from here. We'll see if we can pivot around. Nope, we just got the ship from up there. So we'll move around as we get going today. We'll show you what that big American flag looks like. We are just preparing to get moving, so I'm going to end our commentary for just now while we get settled and we see if we can figure out how to rotate back to normal. It just is. Okay, I'm trying to see if I can get landscape mode here before we get underway. Is it sideways for you all? I'm betting we're sideways. It is. Okay, well, we are stuck in portrait mode then, guys. Sorry, guys. Looks like we are stuck in portrait. Sorry, guys. I will be back in just a few to catch you up on what we're doing. Welcome aboard. Okay, folks, as you can see, we have started leaving the pier. I have tried switching auto rotate, guys. It just is what it is. It is a little overcast, but it is fortunately not nearly as cold as it's been all week. We are once again the fastest battleship afloat. Of course, we always were. We hold the speed record from 1968. Captain Snyder was on board, and he decided to push us beyond our expected speed. So he pushed us at 35 knots one day in 68. So we hold the speed record regardless of how fast Texas goes this year. Over here on the port side, you can see one of our tugboats. We have 4 tugboats joining us today, just like we did last Thursday. They are doing all of the work today. Our engines are not running at all. That is correct. We are up on the Helo Shack here. We were hoping that we could stream the whole day from inside the Helo Shack, but turns out there actually isn't power in there like I thought there was. So we're going to stream some from here, and now that we've switched over to mobile, we're going to be able to move around a little bit more today than we did the other day. Now we are looking aft. We are still going bow first, but we are looking aft for this cruise because I think the most exciting part of this cruise is going to be when we go into the dry dock itself, and we are going aft first. So while we're cruising bow first, we're going to go in stern first into the dry dock itself. So both are good views. We are going to be moving about the ship a little bit since we are mobile. So expect lots of good views. Right now we are departing Paulsboro, so we are about 6 miles from our normal home port in Camden, which means that we're pretty close to home. We are about, they said, a mile from the Philadelphia Navy Yard where we are going, so it's a pretty short cruise today. As a reminder, we've been in Paulsboro, so that way we could ballast the ship. We took on 500,000 gallons of water, primarily in the first couple of tanks, but along some of the other tanks as well. So that way we can weigh down the bow so our trim, the front end of the back end of the ship, match up a little bit closer. We want to make sure we do not sit on the blocks first. We are fortunately not going under any bridges today. Though we are keeping all the people doing the rescue efforts in our hearts and minds today. Some of our team that's been helping us ballast is down there right now. So hopefully everything works out well for them. Someone has asked where Ryan is. Our lovely curator will be here joining our live stream at various points throughout the day. But he is doing his tank inspections right now. He is responsible for making sure that the propeller shafts don't leak. So he is doing an inspection of that, making sure that everything is fine down there. Haven't had any leaks yet, but we want to make sure that that doesn't start today either. The tow should be fairly short. However, we will not be crossing the dry dock sill until 2 p.m. our time, which is in about 2.5 hours, give or take. It is about 11:30 here, I think. Yep, it's 11:40 here. So we got a little more than 2 hours before we cross the sill. Today is going to be a little bit of hurry up and wait. Expect today that we will be doing multiple streams. We're going to do one on our way over and then one on the way back. The stream is in this format because I can't figure out how to do it another way. Welcome to Battleship. I'm doing what I can here. We unfortunately do not have power in this part of the ship, so we are doing it via mobile today, which means we get to move around. So I'm going to try and show you guys a little bit about the whole ship. We are just aft of the turret 3. We're here on the Helo platform right now, or the Helo Shack. So the people in charge of the helicopter operations would be in command from back here. So we're continuing a long-standing tradition of being back here to watch things. No, I cannot rotate my phone. I can't move to landscape. It won't let me. It just is the way it is. Sorry, everybody. We are expecting rain, which is why we're actually by the Helo Shack, as it has a little bit more cover than anywhere else. So we can hide in there if it starts to rain. We have seen a little bit so far, but not enough to cause any issues for us. We're still keeping it at bay. Just a little bit of sprinkles. It is actually slightly warmer though. It has been a cold and wet one since we got here to Paulsboro. So far operations have been going smoothly. We're hoping that it stays the same. Our cruise down here went absolutely perfectly. If you haven't seen it, we've got the full 4-hour video as well as a recap that we posted last night if you want all the really pretty shots of the ship going underneath the bridge and everything else.
Are you back at the Helo station?
And there's our lovely curator chiming in. Yes, Ryan, I am back here at the Helo station. He is going to join us. We are in TikTok view because that's the way that the technology is working today, unfortunately. is what it is. So we, like I said earlier, we have a roughly mile or so cruise today, so it should be a pretty short one, significantly shorter than our previous cruise. And then we will pull across the sill starting around 2 o'clock. Then they will spend some time getting us situated in the dry dock itself before they close the caisson and start draining the water. They will start draining the water today. We likely will not get a good view under the ship until at least tomorrow. So we will absolutely show it to you when we get there. It may or may not be today. It probably won't be in this live stream. We'll probably cut out through a couple different live streams by then. It is pretty surreal to have her underway. This is now my second trip underway with the ship, and it is still really magical. We are going bow first, but she's gonna go for the cruise, and then she will go stern first into the dry dock. So thus we are stern first for right now, just enjoying the lovely view, and then we will get a great shot of the ship going into the dry dock when we get there. We have a few special guests with us.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial. I just got back from inspecting some of the lower spaces on the ship. Good news, still bone dry down there. Bad news, we found a stowaway down in the hold. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, it's Trick NFL. Yeah, I am on board. I've taken the gangplank away, and there's a good 60 foot of water between us and the quayside, so there's no chance of putting me back now.
Yep, the only way off is over the side, or once we get into dry dock later tonight.
Flags are up. We've just got the flags up, so we're now officially haze grey and underway. Navy flag, New Jersey flag, and a battle.
Yep, we have shifted colors now from the stern. We've lowered the Navy jack, and we've raised colors from the foremast like we would be underway. Those will not come down until we're in the dry dock. Some of you might notice we're not doing the full battle flags and dress the ship for colors and all of that today. With the weather and the reduced staffing on board, we're just doing the big flags. We're not doing the whole 9 yards. You'll get to see those again when we bring the ship back to Camden in early June.
As a recap, we should be back in the dry dock. We're supposed to cross the sill around 2 p.m. So look for us then. We're going to live stream sporadically throughout the day. Maybe at some point we'll even figure out how to make it go landscape. It's fighting us today. We do have, we've had a generator on board throughout the process. There is absolutely a generator on board, but we don't have power in this particular location, which is why we've switched over to mobile. This is just a part of the ship that doesn't have it. We're on the outside. But that's okay. That means we get to move around a little bit more with you today.
Wave if you're on the waterfront.
Yeah, if we go past you, make sure you wave.
And sign on the chat so we know you're there.
Oh yeah. If we wave at you, make sure you tell us in the chat. If you're in the chat and you're not waving at us, make sure you tell us where you're at anyway. Nice to see some folks in Baton Rouge. We do love Kid. We're hoping to see her when she gets underwater soon too. Our ballast pumps will dewater the ship when we get to that point. We plan on starting to dewater on Friday. Don't worry, we'll tell you all about it and show you all about it when we get there. I will warn you, it's kind of like watching paint dry or the water drain out of your toilet or your bathtub. It's not that entertaining to watch, but we will show it to you all probably in a time-lapse sped up. We did show you some of the ballasting to get the water on board. Check our previous videos for that one. As a reminder, we ballast so that way we could weigh down the bow, so that way our stern and bow are more lined up for when we hit the blocks. We are expecting to be functionally on the blocks late today, but we probably won't be able to show you the underside of the ship until tomorrow. She won't be fully drained until then. So we might get a sneak preview late tonight. We're gonna see how it goes. As a reminder, our dry dock projects, we are going to be repainting the bottom of the ship. We're going to check all the through-hull openings, and we're going to repack the propeller shafts, check our cathodic protection. It's really a shave and a haircut. This is a much smaller project than what Texas has been up to. They had significantly more damage than we do, so our goal is just to prevent that from happening. Texas has gone through that process before in the past. She's just significantly older than us. So that day will come for us eventually, but we're going to stave it off best we can with these regular dry dockings. The captain of the fastest battleship in the world right now is a guy named Joe. Joe's a little camera shy. I don't think we've seen him yet on the channel. If you watch enough news reports, you might find him though. Hello from Denmark too. Anybody got anything?
Well, one thing we're not going to do is we're not going to imitate the captain of USS Iowa back in World War II, who decided to enter a floating dry dock at speed under his own command, rather than using, tugs and pilots and all the stuff you're supposed to do. And to his credit, he did manage to speed into said floating dry dock and reverse thrust and pretty much stop on a dime. Ship was exactly where it needed to be. The only thing he hadn't accounted for was, of course, the fact that that amount of backwash kind of messed up the arrangement of all the blocks, so they had to tow the ship back out again, refloat the dry dock, rearrange all the blocks, flood the dry dock, and then put the ship in the proper way. So yeah, we're not entering that dry dock at 15 knots or so. Yeah, chat seems to have stopped scrolling for whatever reason, but never mind.
I got an idea, folks. I'm going to slightly reshift the camera onto the gun turret so we can look forward a little bit. So pardon some shakiness for a hot minute while these guys pass me a camera. Hope I can fit.
Oh, it swung round.
Okay.
Oh, the,
Yeah, give me a second. That gives us a little more flexibility of what we're looking at here. We're now looking forward, and you get such a beautiful shot of the Bofors from here. That is that anti-aircraft gun you see. And while we have a moment, guys, I'm going to see if I can restart our stream, since it seems to be fighting me, and maybe we'll even get it in landscape form.